Okay, it's about time that I'm kind of feeling some type of way, and I figured it'd be like a good idea for me to like just say something because a lot of people won't tell you because frankly it's too hard for them to be honest. It's that difficult. It is probably the most difficult skill. That or lying. It's you're either on one end of the spectrum or the other. Either it's really hard for you to lie to people or it's really hard for you to be honest with people. And frankly, I find that more people find it easier to lie than to be honest. And I understand that that kind of puts me in a difficult position because who am I? Why would you trust me? Am I going to be honest with you? There's no way to know. But frankly, like it's up to you to kind of determine whether what I'm telling you is the truth or not. And frankly, I just want to tell you so you don't have to find out the hard way like I've had to. Although it's probably going to happen for you anyway, inevitably, because that's just how shit goes. But nobody, there are going to be 0 people that are actually going to have your best interest in mind. It's only you. You're the only one. That's it. If you can't make things happen for you, if you don't make stuff the way you want it to be, if you don't change things to fit your needs, your wants, and your desires, nobody else is going to do it for you. I don't know anything about like what it is that you want in your life or what you expect on a day-to-day basis, but frankly, no one's going to give that to you. And frankly, it's supposed to be like better if you don't rely on other people. But frankly, relying on other people is like supposed to also be like really important. But frankly, I feel like the more you rely on people, the more you kind of get, the more they're gonna alter what it is that you think you want and what you think you need to do. Because they're going to project their like wants and needs onto you. So you're just gonna find yourself like, being fused or confused by other people. I'm not really sure what the point of this video is, but just like, I feel like it's like important to just say some like raw stuff, just like unfiltered nonsense, just ramblings of a random individual. But here's this, is in case you still had some sort of sense of wonder about the world, I'm here to burst your bubble and save you a whole lot of time on all those weird little nothings that you seem to want so badly in your life. Most people are chasing something, some sort of goal, because they think once they get that thing, once they get to that place, then they're going to be happy. But guess what? Happiness is pretty overrated. One. And like, I think there are a lot of people who think that like, oh, they need to like make X amount of money or have like a certain type of job. And they're going to be like, oh, that'll be fulfilling for me. That's what's going to make me happy. Working and doing something that they probably aren't even sure like what it is that they're actually going to be doing once they get to that point in their life. They just have like this like very like exaggerated idea of what their life is going to look like. They don't know what 20 like 10, 20, 40 years of that is going to be and how it's going to affect other things in their life. And that's just for your work, you know, like that's a lot of people spend majority of their time either at work, at home, or asleep. So what you're doing is you're just like you're dedicating a lot of time to that. And then like your social circles are supposed to be really important, especially as far as like your mental like health goes and your long-term health. Actually, like one of the greatest predictors of like long-term happiness and health is the quality of your connections. So like that's why like family or friends are supposed to be like really important, and then you know like your relationships and whatnot. But thing is that like childlike idea of love that you have is doesn't exist. It's not real. There are no Prince Charmings, princesses, none of that. That's just like some Disney nonsense that is being sold to you. It is a idea that is marketed to you because of like some kind of like bigger industry that I'm not currently aware of. There was like another point that I wanted to touch on that I'm kind of spacing out on right now. If you thought you wanted to be like very wealthy, I'm here to tell you that like I'm not like a very like I'm not like balling or anything, but the thing is like what is it that you really hope to gain from that? Like what, you want to buy like a big house? Cool. Like why do you want a big house? You want a really fast car? You're gonna get a lot of speeding tickets. It's not as much fun as you think. You'll think it's really cool for a very short period of time, and everyone else is going to think it's really cool, but honestly it's going to start to annoy you how much joy everyone else gets out of it, so much more than you will. It'll start to piss you off. And also like a lot of us kind of like have this idea that like here's like the very like mediocre, like very standard idea of what humans do is we're born and then we go to school and then we stay in school, and then at some point we finish like the very like predetermined course of school, which is like up to like high school, and then you get to college and then they're like, okay, we're going to give you some freedom to make some choices, and you get to decide what path it is that you're going to take. But the reality is that all of them, most all choices that you will make are going to be pretty dumb. It's really not going to, it's not going to be all that. There's not like this like grandiose thing. I know everything that I'm saying sounds incredibly negative, but I mean like I'm sure any of you that are watching this video, I'm sure you've seen like plenty of shit on like stoicism, and you'll find that the whole concept there is that you should practically just be like emotionless and like not feel anything and just be okay with everything being terrible. That's the whole point. Just to sum it up for you, if you haven't read like all the philosophers and blah blah blah, whatever, there's like the quick synopsis. I saved you a whole lot of reading time. um you didn't have to be okay with everything being terrible. And back to what I was saying is like you finish school and you get your job. Now you have your job. And maybe at some point along the way, you've had a few relationships or two, and then you find someone super duper special. Or just by accident, because, like humans are clumsy and human error is very like